Welcome back to Barry's Noodle Review, or however I'm going to intro these. So today we have Nongshim, which is a South Korean company, and these are the Shin Red Super Spicy Noodles. Now, when it comes to Korea and spicy food, Koreans are quite fans of spice, so when they say something spicy, it does tend to be pretty spicy. So I've got high hopes that these will actually be spicy. Whereas if you compare to something like Nissin, which would be a Japanese company, if they had a noodle and said it was spicy, you probably could feed it to a toddler because it's basically got no spice in it at all. So we're going to see what these are like. So let's get the packet open. Cheeky little jump cut, just to save your ears from opening the packet. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that these are round. That tends to be the case when these are noodles that are going into a bowl and then having hot water added to rehydrate them. Pans are round as well, so I don't know why they don't extend the same technology to all noodles rather than giving you a rectangle of noodles for your round pan, but hey ho. What do we have under here? Ooh, okay. So first time seeing this, we have the soup base, and that is obviously a powder, and spicy chili flakes, which should be interesting. What we're going to do now is get it in a bowl. Oh, also of note, these are slightly thicker noodles than I was expecting. So these will probably take longer to rehydrate than I would have initially thought. And I think on the packet it does say about 5 minutes. Probably hear the water's pretty much boiled now, so I'm going to turn that off in a sec. I've already emptied out the sachets and the noodles, as you can see, and what I can see is that the chili flakes are more like aromatics. So it's just lots of these little aromatic pieces and a few chili flakes, which makes me think, in conjunction with the orangeness of that powder, that's pretty much where all the spice is, in that it's a chili powder in there. So let's give that a little taste. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Let's turn that off. Yep, that is definitely spicy. That's where the spice is. These will probably just be for smell and flavour, these aromatics. So let's add the water now. Half a litre of water. Which seems excessive, but it is supposed to be ramen rather than instant noodles. So it's supposed to be steeped in a broth, which is just a fancy way of saying soup. You can definitely see it's getting orangey from that powder. How does it smell? Not really. Okay. It's kind of a very savoury, almost chickeny smell. And you can definitely smell it spicy as well. So we'll leave those for 5 minutes and then give them a taste and see what they're like. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, wow, this man has a home? Yeah, I do. And with enough hard work and dedication, you too can have a permanent residency. They smell very savoury and spicy, and I can't really get much else off of the scent. So let's just give them a go. I'm not normally a fan of noodles like this because they're a bit chewier. They're definitely spicy. They are definitely spicy. Like I was saying earlier, if the Koreans say it's spicy, it usually actually is spicy. Flavour-wise, Flavour-wise, I'm not really getting much butt spice. They just taste like they've got somewhat of an umami flavour. They are a little bit oily just on the surface, but it's not too bad. It's not nowhere near as bad as something like a Chinese noodle. But they don't really taste of a lot other than just chili powder. So in terms of impressions, I'm not particularly impressed. Let's just try the broth by itself. Yeah, it's quite salty. Noodles always tend to be salty though. The broth is kind of better than the I think what I don't like that much about having noodles in a ramen, steeped in a soup, is that the noodles themselves don't really take on a lot of flavour. Whereas if you put it in a pan and cook it down and make it into a noodle that is, you eat it without needing a spoon, they have a lot more flavour imparted. So the noodles themselves are a bit bland. I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad by any means. I was just maybe expecting the flavour not to just be chili powder. I was expecting there to be more depth to it. Like, I thought I could smell a bit of kind of chickeny savouriness, and there's none of that. None of that in the taste. They're not completely inedible or anything. They're perfectly edible. They're just spice and kind of nothing else flavour-wise. Maybe good on a cold winter's day when you come in. You're getting your hydration level up as well as getting some spice to warm you up, to warm the cockles. But yeah. So I pretty much finished these now. My verdict and score would probably be maybe 5 out of 10, maybe even 4 out of 10. They're not great. They are spicy. Now, don't get me wrong, they are actually spicy. Your average person would find these pretty spicy. But flavour-wise, could have done with some sweetness to go with it. And also, there's just not a lot of depth to the taste. It is just spice. So they're not bad. They're not the worst, but to be honest, I wouldn't eat these again. The other thing is, in with the aromatics, there was 2 bits of very hard, crunchy bits. Now, one's a piece of carrot and the other's some kind of piece of greenery. I think they were just too thick. So I steeped it for at least 10 minutes before I started eating these, and it wasn't enough, clearly. So, yeah, not great, a little bit disappointing, but then I think somewhat there's a novelty in it. They say super spicy on it, so what do you expect? Anyway, I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 or 4. Split the difference, 4.5 out of 10. I've been Homeless Looking Barry, the noodle reviewer. Jesus, and I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully the next one will be better. Catch you later.